when the police announce that they are the counter-terrorist police, as you rightly say, your mind jumps to all kinds of atrocities. You know, the Oklahoma bombing, 9/11, 7/7. You don't automatically think of a view that's been expressed on social media or on X, do you? No. So in your mind, do you have something where you think, my goodness, I wonder if it was that particular thing that I said. I wonder if it was that post that I made that has caused a problem. Do you have such an idea in your head?
No, I don't have any specific thing in my head that I can think of. It could have been this. There's nothing that springs to mind, and I've obviously scrolled through stuff I've said, and it all seems pretty okay to me. And
you say that, but you are quite sarcastic about the reimagining of certain traditionally white historical figures being reimagined, for instance, as black. I think you raised your eyebrows at a black Anne Boleyn, for instance, and a black Joan of Arc. Do you think that this perhaps has you nailed down, as far as the counter-terrorism police are concerned, as a white supremacist who needs counter-terrorism intervention? Do you think it might be that?
It wouldn't surprise me. I would just strongly, as I think most people would, disagree with that impression. I think most people would be raising an eyebrow if they felt, well, their history was being changed for the sake of diversity. But questioning it shouldn't warrant a visit from the police, in my view anyway.
And certainly the counter-terrorism police, yeah. You also, I noticed on your social media history, you take some issue with the grooming gangs, and at one point you do wonder why some of them haven't been deported back to their land of origin. Do you think perhaps it might have been that has brought you to the attention of the counter-terrorism police?
Considering how much the police covered it up when it happened, then it could be that. It's not like they've dealt with it great themselves, so who knows, maybe questioning why it's been dealt with this way would get you in trouble, I think everyone should be questioning why they're still in this country after what happened.
Yeah, I agree. And whether or not you find that view abhorrent or not, or whether you find that it's a view that you entirely agree with, I think you have to be a particularly crazy person to think that having that view and expressing that view is a matter for the police. I think that's the real issue here, isn't it? I mean, you and I spoke earlier about the diversity of opinion. You know, I can't help but notice that we are in Liverpool, which is a traditionally socialist, Labour-supporting place. I grew up similarly in Sheffield, which was the People's Republic of South Yorkshire. But as you and I mentioned, back when I was at school, you could be a conservative and you would have the mickey taken out of you, and you may raise a few eyebrows, but you weren't classed as an enemy of the people, and certainly wouldn't be drawn to the attention of the teacher, the headmaster, and certainly not the local police. And you've had similar experience with this, haven't you?
Yes, I like you say, growing up in a city that is traditionally very socialist, but I've got friends I've known for decades that we have very different views on things. We debate, we have arguments, and then we come back together and friendships go on, and that's the way things should be. And like I was saying to you about the incident when Ava was at school, and the head teacher, after they'd organised a mock debate and the children who'd voted Conservative were actually being picked on by other children. And when a teacher asked them to stop picking on these children, one of the children turned round and said, yeah, but they voted Tory. And the teacher said, oh, well, that's okay, then carry on. And I was outraged by that, and I phoned the school up and questioned why bullying was allowed to go on over a political view. And the head teacher actually said to me, you do understand you're in Liverpool, don't you? It's a left-wing city. And I can't get my head around that kind of thinking, that just because of your postcode or where you live, you're supposed to vote and think a certain way. That's not how I'd want my children brought up, that you live here, therefore you've got to think this way. It's not good for a society at all.
I find it absolutely astonishing that a person in authority within a school, a head teacher, a head of year, or what have you, would endorse a form of group bullying because you happen to live in Liverpool.
Yeah.
This notion of group think. I mean, you know, next you'll be telling me that you, as rebel that you are, that you read The Sun. Or do we not go that far?
Funnily enough, I have seen people, I've worked in places where people who want to read The Sun have to do this covert under-the-counter operation to be able to buy The Sun because it's in Liverpool. Yeah.
I saw Keir Starmer was very keen to show that he was anti-Sun right up until the point that the Sun endorsed him for Prime Minister. So, but that's politics for you, isn't it?